What is up, Toyota fans? This is Andrew from Trail Runner Customs. Today we're back with my 2006 Toyota Sequoia. Today we're going to take this old halogen bulb interior and transform it to all LEDs. We're going to be replacing the lights in the center gauge cluster, the keyring, the rear AC controls, as well as the doors. So let's take a look at the lights now. They have this little green glow to them. These bulbs are halogens covered in green film. Looking around, they're pretty dull, pretty outdated looking, and definitely in need of an upgrade. So let's get into it. We're going to start off here with the center AC control unit. Now my AC control unit has been broken for a while. It actually has some cracks and a broken shift button. So I went ahead and replaced the whole unit, but if you're just replacing the bulbs, you just pull it out and take out the old bulbs. To remove this unit, there's two Phillips head screws you need to locate. Both of them are under the top side of the air vent. You just push the air vent back and you should be able to take them out pretty easily. After that, you just pull the unit straight back and it comes out. This takes a little bit of force because it is clipped in there with some clips on the back. I grabbed the little pillars on the inside of the AC and kind of went back and forth, wiggled it out. Now keep in mind it is connected by a wiring harness, so you can't just tear it out of there. But a little bit of finesse and it should pop right out. The unit is removed from the dash. There's the radio still in place, along with the 4 wiring harnesses. Just grab a little screwdriver or unclip them by hand, and you should be ready to take it inside. So I got my unit from the car. I brought it inside. As you can see, there's the new unit I'm using to replace it. Now I'm going to make a video about everything I did to replace the unit itself, but for the purpose of this video, I'll just cut right to the bulbs being changed, because if you were doing this on your own car, you would just go ahead and change the bulbs. So let's get to that. So the first step to removing the bulbs is to take off the plastic cover on the back of the unit itself. This is pretty easy. You just grab a Phillips head and take off around 8 to 10 screws. Once those are off, you can pull it back up and reveal the wiring harness. You just want to unconnect the wiring harness from the board, and then you can get to the bulbs. We now come to the process of replacing the bulbs themselves. I have some nice LED T5 bulbs that I got from Amazon, and I'm pointing out exactly where the 11 bulbs are that need to be replaced. So let's run through the process of replacing them. You just twist, they come loose, and you can take them out. There you see the halogen bulb with the green film. Just pull them straight back out, just a little bit of force required, and then put in the new bulb itself. From there, you can just put it right back in the spot where you took it out and repeat the process with all of the other bulbs. Now, it's important to note that for some of these lights, polarity does matter. So if you put all the bulbs in and you notice 1 or 2 of them aren't lighting up, just take it back out, flip the bulb around to where the positive and the negative are swapped, and you will be good to go. So now that you have all the bulbs replaced, you can reattach the wiring harness to the board itself. It's just as simple as pushing it down and snapping it into place. From there, you can set down the back plate and screw it back in using the screws you took out earlier. After that, you're ready to take it to the car and reinstall it. Once you're back in the car, you just need to reattach the wiring harnesses, and then you can slide the unit back into the dash itself. Now these clips take a little bit of force to go in, so just press down straight back and they should pop back into place. From there, you can take your screwdriver and reattach these screws that you took out from above the air vents, and everything will be back to how it was. From there, we're going to move to the key ring light, so let's start taking out some screws. Take off the trim piece to get to the ring light. You just want to unscrew the 4 bolts in the 4 trim locations that I show. 2 on the right side and 2 on the left side. They're both kind of under the steering wheel a little bit, so you're going to have to get down and take them out with a little socket wrench. Once you have them out, you can then pull down on the dash with a little yank. Unfortunately, I was not able to get good footage of this, but there's really not much to it. You now have access to the keyring light. You want to locate the Phillips head screw on the bottom left side of that. Go ahead and take that screw out with your screwdriver, and once that is removed, you can access the light that goes around the keyring itself. Pulling that down, you see there it is, the little green one right there. We're going to have to take that out. Taking this bulb out isn't too difficult. It's more of a twist and pull type of thing. There it is coming out right there. I went ahead and put the new one in. As you can see, it's super bright. Then you just replace it the same way you took it out. and you can then put the keyring back on the ignition. Grab that little Phillips head screw and screw it right back in, and you are good to go. Now comes the most frustrating part of the video, and this is because we kind of went into uncharted territory here. There are just a few YouTube videos replacing the gauge cluster lights, the speedometer lights, but none really for the 05 to 07 Sequoia. So I figured, why not give it a shot? And that was where I came into some difficulty and some frustration. The reason being, the 05 to 07 speedometer is a little bit different from the 01 to 04. The 01 to 04, it's super easy to change the bulbs. You just take it out, look at the back, and there are the bulbs, more twisting and replacing. But for the 05 to 07, they decided to make it super difficult to get to the bulbs. So that entailed me taking off some of the needles, which was a terrible idea altogether. But once I finally got to the board itself, it ended up being the board itself had white LEDs on it, and the green tint comes from film on the back of the face of the speedometer. This is kind of a lot to say, but in the end, I ended up not being able to do anything about the green glow on the gauge cluster itself, which sucked. So yeah, kind of a big letdown there, but we did the best we could and we learned something new. We're going to move on to the rear AC unit. I just took a trim tool and popped it out. Once it's out, you just unclip the wiring harness and you can move to the back where you'll find 2 Phillips head screws. Once the screws are out, you just remove the cover and you can see the old halogen bulbs. Again, this is pretty tedious, but it's just taking them out and replacing them with the T5 bulbs. After that, you can reinstall the cover and reattach the unit itself. So that leads us to the door lights. This is the last step in the LED conversion. All you do is just take them out of the door with the screwdriver, then you pop out the old bulb, put the new bulb in. Again, this is really tedious, but this is all it really takes. Once you have the new one in, you can refasten it to the door and it should be good to go. So now let's check out our new Just a reminder to check out my company, trailrunnercustoms.com, link in bio. We have tons of different grills. This is a little sneak peek into our Toyota collection. We're also working to release different grills for different models in the near future. As always, I appreciate your support. Please consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one.